Home buying for self-employed borrowers, what you need to know to get the process started. So tonight I'll be discussing what you need to do if you're a self-employed borrower. So actually, the most important thing is probably letting you know what a self-employed borrower is. Self-employed is someone who owns a business and they get paid through a business, their business, or someone who is not a W-2 employee. Contract work, 1099 workers. So those people are considered W-2 employees. So common misconception is that you can't purchase a home if you're self-employed, which is not true. So in this video, I'm going to go through what you can do to get in position to purchase a home. I'm going to be answering any questions that you have about home ownership as a self-employed borrower. And if you stick around to the end, I'll answer any questions that you have about home ownership in general. So the first thing to do if you're a self-employed borrower, let's say maybe before you even get to the point where you are looking to purchase a home, you need to make sure that you're properly documenting your income. Properly documenting your income. What does that mean? So I'm going to give you a list of documents that you need to start preparing for the process. That is, if you're self-employed and let's say you're a 1099 worker, we'll need the 2 most recent years of 1099s for all jobs that you worked as a 1099 employee. Those are going to be the first things that we need. The next steps is we need the 2 most recent bank statements, all pages. If you put your money in a personal account, we'll need the personal bank statements. If you put them in a business account, we'll need the business bank statements. If you do a combination of both, we will need personal and business bank statements. The next thing we'll need is a copy of your two most recent years of tax returns. So if you're a Schedule C employee, if you're a Schedule C business owner, which means that you have a profit and loss statement inside of your 1040 tax returns, then we'll need a copy of those tax returns. If you have went and got fancy and provided and created a S corporation, partnership, C corp, we'll need a copy of your 2 most recent years of tax returns, all pages, all schedules. Now this one is a little bit different. We're going to need the personal tax returns and we're going to need the business tax returns, federal only. The reason why we need both is to make sure that, hey, if Mr. Borrower or Mrs. Borrower is getting a salary from said business, we need to see that the business has the ability to sustain while giving you an income. Let me repeat that. We're going to see if your business can intact and is bringing in some income even after you are paid your salary. All right. Next thing we're going to need is a year-to-date profit and loss statement. That year-to-date profit and loss statement is because, hey, like right now it's December 21st, 2025. Tax returns are not due for 2026 yet because it's not 2026. However, if you're looking to purchase a home, and let's say in the next 30 days you're looking to purchase a home and you'd like to close on a home, taxes for 2026 will not be due. They'll probably just be giving out 1099s and W-2s. The IRS will probably just be getting ready to open up, right? So we'll need a profit and loss statement, which is what profits you made from 2025 or the current year that you're in all the way to whatever point of the year you're in. So we're going to use this year as an example. So we're going to need all of your profits from 2025, from January 1st of 2025, and let's just say to December 31st of 2025. We're going to need the profit and loss statement. We're going to see what comes in, what goes out. That's what we're going to use along with your 23 and 24 tax returns. Those things are important. A lot of people, when you go to lenders, just provide or just ask for the most 2 recent years of tax returns, and we're still going to need a profit and loss statement. We're going to look at the profit and loss statement to see if so we're going to take 23 and 24's profit and or loss. We're going to divide that by 24 months. And when we divide it by 24 months, that's going to give us a 2-year average. Once we look at the year-to-date profit and loss statement, we're going to see if that is still in line with the 2-year average. If it is in fact in line with the 2-year average, then we're going to use that income for you to be employed. I mean, not be employed. That income for you to qualify as qualifying income. If in fact it is lower, then we're going to look at it and we're going to go the most conservative route and give you the year-to-date profit and loss statement. Now, I just want to let you know, we're going to dig in a little bit more. Why is 2025 lower than your 2-year averages? And there could be a great explanation. Maybe you took sick. Maybe the market changed a little bit. We're going to get documentation to explain why there was a change in your income over the last year, the last 12 months. It could be starting to the income could start to be increasing again. It just all depends, but we need a clear picture as to what is going on with your income and profit and loss for your business. Maybe you have more expenses in 2025 than you normally do, but that is going to be key. We're going to need a copy of your most recent unexpired driver's license. We're also going to need a copy of your social security card and or your passport. So we're going to essentially need 2 forms of government IDs. Now, as a self-employed borrower, you can still qualify for FHA, a VA, a USDA, and a conventional loan. Those loan options are still available to self-employed borrowers. You have the ability to qualify for those as long as your debt to income ratio and credit in the parameters. So you qualify very similarly to someone who has a W-2 position in terms of we're looking at income. Big difference, we're averaging your income over the course of 2 years. Big change is when we're looking at a W-2 employee, we're looking at their gross income. When we're looking at a self-employed borrower, we're looking at net income. And that's one of the biggest difference between W-2 and self-employed borrowers. W-2, we're looking at gross. 1099 or self-employed, we're looking at net. Because we want to make sure that your business is moving forward and that you have some sort of average income that comes in. And that's when you're looking to go FHA, VA, USDA, conventional financing. Another misconception is because you're self-employed, depending on your income, you also could qualify for down payment assistance. Because you own your business does not necessarily mean that you do not qualify for down payment assistance programs or first-time home buyers program, depending on what it is and what state you're in, right? You have the ability to qualify for a mortgage just like anyone else. And I repeat, just like you can qualify for FHA, your down payment requirement is the same, 3.5%. VA, if you're a veteran and you own a business, there's no down payment required. If you're looking for USDA financing and you're self-employed, there's no down payment requirement either. If you are self-employed and you're looking for conventional financing, there's potentially a option for a 3% down payment or 5% down payment. Just depends on what you qualify for. So there's no big difference in, oh, I'm self-employed, I can't qualify for those programs, or I can't qualify for a down payment assistance program. If you make a great income, a great amount of money as a self-employed borrower, then hey, you may not qualify for certain down payment assistance programs or incentives, but that's a blessing because you make enough money in your business, right? So if we look at your tax returns and we don't see a profit, then I'm going to ask you, hey, what happened? It looks like you wrote everything off in 23 and 24. Oh, okay. My tax preparer did that. So if you know that you're looking to buy, you want to make sure you have a conversation, a pre-conversation with a lender, right? And then a conversation with your tax preparer, because they are doing their job. They're looking at your taxes and doing and mitigating any tax burden that you may have off a lot of your expenses that you can write off for work. I mean, for your business. They're doing their job as a tax preparer. The only difference is you can't write off everything on your taxes and then tell Uncle Sam, hey, can you pre-approve me for FHA, VA, or USDA loan because I really make $150,000, but I only show $25,000 on my taxes. It doesn't work that way, and that's where people get confused on actually what to do. Now, every business owner is not making hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. In perfect world, I would love to see that, and then they have their own funds for down payment. We got you closed. However, that's not always the case. But in some cases, there are business owners who make a substantial amount of money, and they've done their tax returns, and they understand that, hey, I don't want to pay this money to the IRS. I like to take my write-offs, which are reasonable, so that I don't have a huge tax bill. With that person, I'm going to say you have an option for something called a bank statement loan. A bank statement loan is where we take 12 or 24 months of business or personal bank statements for self-employed borrowers, and we look at the income deposits that are coming in, and we average them over the course of 12 or 24 months. By averaging them over the course of 12 or 24 months, that gives us an idea of how much money comes in on a monthly basis. Now, this is looked at separately and different than a traditional loan. There is no down payment assistance for a bank statement loan. A bank statement loan is something called, and you may see it online, called non-QM, meaning non-qualifying mortgage. Well, what does that mean, Kevin? A non-qualifying mortgage means, hey, it's not your traditional FHA, VA, USDA conventional loan, but there is a product that allows for us to utilize bank statements and to give you a mortgage based off your income for your bank statements, as well as your credit score, your debt to income ratio, and what income you bring in, as well as your assets. In this video, and when I talk, I always refer to as assets, and assets can be cash, money in the bank, 401k, stocks. If you're cashing out cryptocurrency or something like that, all of those things are considered assets. If you can pull money from your insurance, that all of those are considered assets. Now, with the bank statement loan, you have some higher requirements. There's going to be a higher credit score requirement. As of time in this video, you're probably looking at a 660 to 680 minimum credit score. And then you're also going to be looking at a minimum of 20% down on down to 10%. Just like anything else, the higher your credit score, the lower your down payment requirement. So as a business owner, you can't go bank statements. However, just know that there's no down payment assistance for the bank statement loan. And all you're providing is 12 or 24 months of bank statements. We're not asking you for 1099s. We're not asking you for W-2s, because you can't be a W-2 employee and be use your bank statement loans. We're not looking for your 2 most recent years of tax returns. We're not looking at a profit and loss statement. We're strictly looking at deposits that go into your account. They have to be considered business deposits. So let me give you an example. You get a $500 Zelle payment from someone, and it's not a business related deposit. We can't use those funds. Let's say you're using a personal account and you share it jointly with your wife, if he or husband. If they are not on the loan, we can't use that deposit of their W-2 income coming in as income deposit for you. So hopefully that makes sense. Now, as a self-employed borrower, you want to make sure that because you're typically going to write off a lot of your stuff, you want to make sure you start to take a look at your debts in advance and make sure you keep your debts down so that you can qualify. like most people, self-employed borrowers, W-2 employees, retirees, we live off of what we make. So you're going to have to be disciplined in advance to say, how do I keep my business together, or how do I keep my expenses down without exceeding the debt to income ratio, right? You really need to look at that. And all of this can come from a conversation with the lender. A lender can provide, an experienced lender with self-employed borrowers can provide steps and tips for you to do to put yourself in a position to purchase a home. What else I would say is, I would definitely say you will need to stop looking at these TikTok videos and the people online telling you, hey, just buy the house in your business name, or saying, hey, I don't want to use my personal credit, I want to use my business credit. So when you're buying a primary residence, we don't care about business credit. We're looking at the person themselves. We're not worrying about your paydex score or how many trade lines you have as a business, even though we're using your business income. The other part is, if you're buying a primary residence, the business will not be the primary owner of that said property. So I get a lot of people who come to me and want to put it in their business name because their personal credit isn't good, but they've taken time to build up their paydex score to make them seeming like they would qualify. And I'm sorry, it just doesn't work that way. Right? It doesn't work that way. So the self-employed borrower, again, you can establish business credit, you can have a business bank account, you can establish, have your business in line and be very profitable. But when you're buying a home, a primary residence, you're the guarantor, it's going to be in your name. Now, what I would also say is to make sure, if you're doing things and they're in your personal name, let's say cell phone, see if you can get your cell phones transferred into your business name if you're using it for business, right? If you have a vehicle that you're utilizing for your business and it's in your personal name, see if you can get the steps, call a credit union or a bank and find out what it takes to get your business vehicle into your business name so it doesn't show on your personal account, and you can legitimately write that off on your taxes. Speak to your tax preparer. I am not a tax preparer, nor do I play one on TV, but these are things that we look at as lenders, because people say, hey, well, this vehicle really is being paid for by the business. But if it's showing on your personal credit and we can't provide showing that the business pays for this said vehicle, we're going to have to use that into your debt to income ratio. There's a great opportunity for self-employed borrowers to purchase homes. There's funds available just like any other loan. And I always tell self-employed borrowers this: you're going to pay a big check to somebody. You're either going to pay a big check to the IRS for not writing off as much, or you're going to pay a larger down payment for purchasing a home because there's a larger down payment required. Again, on bank statement loans, the requirement is anywhere from 10 to 20% down. And you also need to show that you have reserves. Reserves is the equivalent to 1 month of the principal, interest, taxes, and insurance on a house that you're looking to buy. So if you're looking to buy a house and you need 6 months of reserves and you have a $2,000 a month payment, then after you pay your down payment and closing costs, we're also going to need for you to have $12,000 additional dollars available, whether it's 401k, in the bank, stocks, insurance. We need to have those funds available to you so that we can prove, hey, if something happens with my business, I have some reserves set to the side where I can continue to pay my mortgage payment along the way. Capiche? Cool. So I want to also answer any questions that you guys have pertaining to being a self-employed borrower. If you're watching this live, do me a huge favor first. Give me a thumbs up on the video. Let your boy know whether this information has been valuable thus far. If you're new to the channel and you have not already subscribed, I need you to do two things. I need you to hit the subscribe button on my channel. And if you want to be notified as to when I go live, hit the notification button. It'll tell you, hey, Kevin, the People's Lender is about to go live, or he just put out a video that's fire. Let's take a listen. While I'm waiting for people to ask any questions you have. So first, I want to answer any questions that you have pertaining to being a self-employed borrower. Those questions are going to be answered first. Next, if you're looking to be a home buyer and it's not a first time, if you're not self-employed, if you have a question about refinancing, if you have a question about investment properties, I will answer those questions after I answer the questions for the self-employed borrowers. Do me a huge favor also, if you got a self-employed borrower and this information is you think is valuable to them, share this information with them. Share the link to this video with them and let them know, hey, this is something I think you may want to take a listen to. It was valuable information given. I think this could help you in your journey to home ownership. If you would like to be a part of my community, I have a link that will be below for my Facebook community for you to be able to join. If you are on the road, you're traveling, you're busy, you don't always get the notifications. Sometimes it comes in, sometimes it doesn't. You can always join my newsletter. The link will be below as well. And we will notify you when I'm going live, when the live was released, and if any other videos were actually released as well. Got me? Now, does anyone watching have any questions pertaining to being a self-employed borrower? If not, if you are watching, matter of fact, do me a huge favor. If you're watching and you're self-employed, comment self-employed so I can see if you're self-employed. How many people are self-employed? If you're watching the replay and you're self-employed, in the chat, comment self-employed so I can see how many people, again, so I can get a gauge of how many people are being self-employed. I'm coming out, I'm just going to let you know, I'm going to come out with a series of videos about self-employed workers because I've helped people who've done Uber and Lyft become homeowners, DoorDash, business owners, barbers, hairstylists, truck drivers that are self-employed, self-employed-ish. I got you. I've helped, man, it's been a lot. I've helped, people who sold medical supplies become homeowners who are self-employed, real estate agents, self-employed. What else? Mainly a lot of truck drivers. I've helped a lot of truck drivers who were self-employed, have one or two trucks, sometimes multiple fleets of trucks. Delivery workers, Amazon delivery workers, I think it's Amazon Flex. You name it, people who utilize their rental income as a business owner and that's all they do with their property management, and I've helped them qualify for a mortgage as well. So I will get into the questions. How you doing, Cynthia? It says, for DTI for retirees, do you take gross or net income from annuities and / from Social Security? Social Security, we take gross income. And we actually have the ability to do something called gross it up. Now, when we gross up Social Security, we can do up to 115% because Social Security is not taxable. It's not taxed, typically taxed. If we want to gross it up 125%, we will need a copy of your most recent 2 years of tax returns so that we can see if in fact you shouldn't be writing anything off on your Social Security, but we just need to verify. And if you don't file, we'll pull a 4506T, which is your IRS transcript, just to double check to make sure you didn't file and nothing was taxed. Annuities, we go off of gross as well. So you're good there. The DTI for retirees is going to be the same for anyone, whether so the DTI is the same whether you're retired, W-2, self-employed, 1099. It's all the max is always going to be the max for whatever program it is, but how much you qualify for is going to be determined based upon how much income you make, how much debt you have, and what type of assets you have. Do I have money left over after I've paid my down payment and closing costs? So all of those factors are going to remain the same. On a bank statement loan, I didn't mention it, but the max debt to income ratio is going to be 50%. Again, a 10 to 20% down payment, minimum credit score 660 to 680. The better the score, the lower the rate, and typically the less reserves are required. So reserves can be anywhere from 3 to 12 months. Just depends on your particular file. I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. Self-employed, 1099R income. Yep, you're gonna be one of my success stories. Trust and believe. Semi-retired, self-employed. Jeanette, you mind me asking you what type of business you operate? And that's a good thing. Second question. Do me a huge favor and let me know what type of business you operate as a self-employed borrower. If you're watching the replay in the chat and you're self-employed, what type of business do you operate in terms of what type of business do you operate as a self-employed borrower, potential self-employed borrower? Yes, I can take a look at your information and give you an updated game plan. I believe you've done some things since. Let's wait until the 1st of January so things can update on your credit report, and then we'll be able to get a better picture of your updated game plan. Realtor. Cynthia, where you a realtor at? What state? Baker. Okay. Patty cake. Caretaker under the radar. I won't tell. Let's grab a call, Cynthia. I'm licensed in South Carolina and North Carolina. Let's see how we can do some business together. Good. So let's kind of reset the room. In this video, I went over some steps and things that you need to do and how to prepare for home ownership as a self-employed borrower. We went over required documents. We went over the type of loans that you can utilize. You can utilize anywhere from FHA, which has a 3.5% down payment. VA and USDA have a 0% down payment. Conventional has as low as 3 to 5% down payment. We also discussed the bank statement loan, where we don't ask for any of your paperwork other than 12 months of bank statements. We need 12 months of bank statements. They can be business and or personal. 12 to 24 months of business and or personal bank statements. We'll need something called a business analysis letter that just gives us a brief synopsis of what type of business you operate. And we want your assets. If your money for down payment and closing costs is not in those accounts that you give us, then provide those that paperwork so we can see, hey, yes, they run a business, they get enough deposits, this is what we can utilize, and then here is an opportunity, here's their money for their down payment and closing costs. So that would be great. Yes, Cynthia. Yeah, we definitely need to talk. So number one, I want to thank all you guys, ladies, for being on here tonight. I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate your eagerness and wanting to learn about the home buying process. Thank you for your support throughout the years. And if there's anything I can ever do to help you, let me know. Susanette, what do you bake? So I'm gonna give you an example. I've got a couple of clients that are bakers. One client strictly bakes cookies. That's all she bakes. The other one bakes cakes and brownies, right? She will do cookies as well. Her main thing is cakes. She'll do brownies as well, and then she'll do some cookies. But I've got another baker. She bakes cookies, cakes, pies, whatever. And then I've got a client that strictly bakes cookies. She doesn't do anything else. She makes some huge, delicious cookies. Matter of fact, I haven't gotten mine for Christmas this year, so I need to figure out what's going on. I don't know if she fired me or not. Okay. Well, that's great. Cookies and brownies. Cynthia. I have a client. Yeah, let's grab a call. I'm gonna put my cell number in the chat. I'm gonna put my cell number in the chat, and if you can text me, just text say Cynthia Slaughter, and here's my number. I will definitely reach out to you so we can set up your client. Yeah, I remember the name. I responded. Let me see. I'm going to put my Zoom link in it. Not Zoom link. Here's my email. Send me an email so we can set up a call, or that's my cell number. Send me a text ASAP so we can set up a time to get on a call. I remember your question, but I responded with a question also. So it might be easy to grab a call. So you got my cell number where you can text me, say, hey, Kevin, I'm such and such. I'd like to set up a call. And then Cynthia, make sure you text me so we can get on a call as well as getting things set up for your client. No problem at all. So if you're self-employed, again, drop your questions that you have pertaining to being a self-employed borrower. If you're not self-employed and you right now you have a question pertaining to investment properties, being a first-time home buyer, if you have questions about whatever refinancing your current home, do me a huge favor and go ahead and drop that question in the chat. And then I can answer those questions for you along the way. Shoot, tonight I got a bunch of questions, right? My question is, and I want this to be as interactive as possible via Zoom, right? What is your plan? Are you looking to buy in the next 6 months or 12 months? That's first question, right? So you put 6 or 12, drop 6 or 12 in there so I get an idea. Second question is, or second part to the question is, what's holding you back? What are you waiting for, or what do you need to be able to move forward into the home ownership journey? That's what I'm looking to do in 2026 is I'm looking to help 150 families on the home ownership journey. And I'm going to tell you, I have never, ever done that. I've never done that many, but I'm on a mission to change some people's trajectory and their family's legacy by becoming homeowners. When I'm looking for 150 families, and people to help. If you're watching this and you know some families that are interested in purchasing a home, get them to my channel. I'm telling you, I am on a serious mission. This is my mission. This is my business plan. I don't care if you're retired or you work. I don't care if you make $50,000 or you make $50 million. If your goal is to be a homeowner, my mission is to get you into a house, not just to get you into the house, which is what a lot of people do. My mission is for you to stay in your home. I'm going to help 150 people this year. My team and I, we're going to help 150 people. So in 2026, what I need now is for people to tell me, this is my hang up. This is my issue. This is what I need more information on. If you know anybody that's looking to purchase, I don't care what part of the country they're in, from Alaska to Maine, from Maine to Florida, from Florida to California to Hawaii, get them in front of me, get them listening to my information, help them get prepared for this journey they're about to go on. Maybe it's not by the summer. Maybe they close in Q4 of 2026. But the goal is to help 150 families, and I'm going to put together some things. I'm going to put out a ton of information. My goal in 2026 is to put out more videos than I've ever put out in my life. On my YouTube journey, I'm putting out more videos. I'm trying to create more content, give out more information so that my people can get into a home. Now, that's my commitment from me. That's my commitment from me to you. Your commitment needs to be to you that you're going to do whatever it takes to accomplish your goal. Together, we can do it. I'm going to utilize all the resources that I potentially have, from credit repair companies to my experience with helping give game plans to people who have budgets. If you need down payment assistance, we're going to try to utilize down payment assistance programs. Something else that I'm going to implement is I'm going to utilize real estate professionals. So if you're a real estate professional watching this, you want to align yourself with me. You want to align yourself with me. I'm going to potentially have buyers that I can refer to you, but I'm only referring to people who are ultimate professionals and know what they're doing. Because this is serious business. I'm on a serious mission for 2026. For me, 2026 starts December the 1st. So I'm 21 days into 2026. Only day I'm off is Christmas Day. And if you put it in an application, I'm probably going to review it. That's how serious I am about helping 150 families. I'm putting out more information, more content than I've ever put out before, which is a stretch and is going to push me. That's why I set my goal, so you guys can hold me accountable. If I don't show up one week, I want you messaging me. Hey, where you at? We need videos. All right. 6 months, better credit. We can work on that. 6 months, I live in Virginia, probably moving to North Carolina. Okay. Thank you, Cynthia, for the fire emojis. Homeowner within 9 months, trying to pay down credit cards, not off, 5K bounce on car loan to free up income. My goal is to have my payment plan for my taxes and to be debt free by the end of next summer. We are serious about getting to a home. And I'm here to help you. I appreciate your support. I am here to help you. Any other questions pertaining to home ownership? I appreciate the support. If you guys are watching this, if you're watching the replay, do me a favor. Let that be your Christmas gift to me. Give me a thumbs up on this video. If you're watching it now, give me a thumbs up on the video as well to help push it out to the algorithm. Make sure that I appreciate that, Cynthia. I appreciate it. So that's the other thing. In 2026, my goal is to give more than I've ever given before. Whether that's information, but I also want to give back to charities. So for my birthday's February 2nd. For my birthday, I'm trying to put together a plan on how I can get donations, whether it's through Patreon, whether it's through gifts like Cynthia just gave, and whatever I get after YouTube takes what they're going to take, I'm going to donate that to a charity. I've got a couple in mind because right now people are hurting, charities are hurting, and I feel like I got to give. So 2026 is going to be up and stuck. We're going to be up and stuck. I'm going to create a lot of homeowners. My Facebook page is going to be more active than ever. Probably going to start a school community on School, if you ever heard of it. The newsletter is going to be popping. The YouTube lives are going to be popping. I'm on a mission to be a blessing to people in general. I want to help homeowners. I want to help charities. I want to give as much as I can. I want to give more than I've ever given. That's actually in my family's business plan, for us to give more than we've ever given. And that giving is in money. That giving is also in time, whether we're feeding homeless, giving coats, whatever it takes. I'm going back to my coaching basketball. My boys don't play, but I want to give my time to kids and help develop them as basketball players. I am looking to be a blessing in 2026. Yeah, I responded. I just asked the question. Someone asked about tiny homes. I may have missed your response. I didn't respond to it. So she asked me, she said that she would like to purchase a tiny home. Did I have any advice for her? And my question to her was, are you looking to buy a tiny home that's already existing, or are you looking to try to build a tiny home from scratch? So that was my question. Contrary to what people believe, tiny homes are not inexpensive. They're efficient. Electric bills and gas and water, they're efficient. But in terms of price range, they're not inexpensive because it costs for that efficiency. So the house has to be set properly, built properly to where people can maneuver and do what they need to do. But it's possible to help you with a tiny home. I just need a little bit more context and information as to what you're looking to do. Any other questions? As we say in church, are all hearts and minds clear? I got time for a couple more questions. If not, I'll give you a little bit of your evening back. And again, Cynthia, thank you. I appreciate it. I truly appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, I got to. Thank you. Thank you. If you have any questions, jump on a consultation with me. Jump on a call with me. I'd love to get the opportunity to talk to you, see how I can help. Continue to watch me. Tell me what topics you're interested in, what information you need to hear to keep you motivated. So doing a YouTube live is one thing. You guys responding in the comments is great. Responding in the comments is great. I want to actually probably, and I did it one time before. It wasn't last year. I think it was 2023 when I did well, it wasn't this year. It might have been 2024 when I did a Zoom call and you were able to get on and ask questions with me. But it was a big Zoom call. It's like a home buying seminar. Matter of fact, I'm going to plan one of those. Zoom Home Buying Seminar 2026. It's going to be early in 26. It's going to be early in 2026 so we can get things, game planning for 2026 and beyond. Again, 150 people, 150 families, 150 families that I'm going to help. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Chanel. I appreciate you. 150 families I'm going to help with home ownership. And I'm going to keep a running tally starting January the 1st. And so what you ladies just provided to me will go into January because that's when it'll get paid out. So it will go into January and I'm going to keep a running tally and we're going to see how much we gave from this YouTube channel in 2026. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. I appreciate you guys. The other thing is, while I have a few charities in mind, it depends on how much we raise, right? Maybe if you have a charity that you have in mind in your location and it's a worthy cause and my team and I vet that charity to make sure, and I'm not saying you will give me anything legitimate, but we just have to do our due diligence. If we're going to sow into that charity, then we're open to giving to that charity as well. So definitely let me know. Live in Georgia, currently adding documents to my file. Cool, Marlon. I appreciate it, man. One of my best friends and birthday twin, graduate same year, born same year, same day. I'm like an hour or so older than him. His name is Marlon. To this day, we still friends. Just spoke to him yesterday, matter of fact. Well, cool, guys. Thank you for watching. You have my commitment in 2026. Don't wait till 2026 if you're looking to start the process. Be prepared. I'm also going to put out information on this 2026 home buying seminar. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. And if I'm not sure about next Sunday, but if I don't jump on live, you guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good night.